Ask yourself if, in any part of your life or your home, you ever feel like you're drowned by too much stuff, overwhelmed by choices, never able to find what you want, and relying on the same thing again and again. You are going to feel so much better. You know you need it when you're just feeling a bit mentally cloudy, or where things seem like they're in chaos, even when your to-do list is relatively short, or actually just when you already know that you have too much stuff. Physical clutter is akin to mental clutter, and that light, airy breeziness that you can feel when things are simple and tidy, it's just so good for your mental state. If starting your minimalism journey, or simply just decluttering a little bit, is feeling really overwhelming and is filling you now with a sort of sense of dread rather than the excitement that you might have been feeling when you decided it was a really good idea, this is where you begin. This right here is a really great place to start your simplification journey, or wherever causes you stress or anxiety, or simply makes you go, ugh, or you just close the door on and completely ignore. But that's how you know that's a good place to start, so that you feel so good at the end of it. Yeah, let's start here. So you've picked a place to start, and you've carved out time to actually do it, and made sure that time is realistic and you're not going to be interrupted partway through. You're ready, you are raring to go. Great, but hold up. You want to succeed, right? You don't want to give up halfway through, and you definitely don't want to have a panic attack and start hyperventilating in a corner until someone comes and saves you. You're no damsel. With a little bit of forethought and planning, you have got this. No paper bag required. I've mentioned in a previous video that simplifying your possessions, like the very popular lifestyle choice of minimalism, can have quite a profound and positive effect on your mental, physical, and emotional well-being. It can also affect your ability to make future decisions, whether that's at home or at work. It can give you better clarity of thought and a heightened sense of control, just to name a few. And honestly, it also just makes things easier to find, and that means that you spend less time digging through stuff, trying to look for things, and more time on things that are more relevant to you. There are many ways to get started with decluttering or minimalism or simplifying things. The best approach for you is really going to depend on your individual circumstances. So here are a few tips on how to get started without just saying, just get into it. Firstly, define your goals. What do you hope to achieve? Is it to reduce clutter, save money, or simplify your life? Having a clear idea of your goals can help you stay motivated and keep focused as you streamline your possessions. Number 2, set limits early. Establish guidelines for yourself about how much your future self should acquire and why. This seems fine. This can help you maintain your cleaner lifestyle over the long term and help you get into that mindset of less is more. Number 3, start small, and you don't have to get rid of everything all at once. Start small by one space or a theme of things or a category of things before moving on to the next one. So for instance, it might be an area in your house like your office, or a specific part of that area like your office cupboard. It could be a particular drawer or a theme like beauty products, or like me, you can pick a type of item. So I've gone with clothing, but not my whole wardrobe, which would include things like bags and belts and bangles. And I really just wanted to alliterate, so it's jewelry, but you know, bangles sounded better. Number 4, practice gratitude. Take a moment to appreciate the things that you already have, and then consider whether they're still truly adding value to your life. Number 5 is seek support. It can be a challenging process, especially if you're used to a more consumerist lifestyle. So consider joining a minimalist group or finding a buddy who can help you stay on track. And here's where different decluttering schools of thought come into play. Some schools focus on getting rid of unnecessary items. Go through everything you own and decide whether you really need each item. And then if you don't, consider passing it on to someone who does need or want it, or donating it, or selling it, or tossing it. Before you bin anything, please consider whether it can find a new home somewhere else. It's really great to be mindful of our wastage and our environmental impact. The other way to look at it is from a focus of tidying up and what you get to keep. This is more like the KonMari method, where you choose what's important to you and what really matters to you and what sparks joy. Everything should have a place in your home and be there for a reason that actually matters to you. When choosing what to keep, ask your heart. When you're choosing where to store something, ask your house. I think this is a great quote if this is a style that works for you. And while we're on the KonMari method, Marie does state that there is a correct way to start your tidying up process, and that is actually with clothes. So it may seem daunting having a big old pile of clothes or whatever it is that you decided to work on first. The reason that I did decide to dump all of my clothes in the middle of my bedroom floor was so that I wouldn't be tempted to get partway through and just give up. If I did take a break, I would actually have to come back to it. Otherwise, this would just be sitting in the middle of my floor. As you can tell though, it is now starting to get dark, and that is exactly what I'm going to have to do, as in come back tomorrow and finish it off. And that's okay. And that might happen to you too. It might take a couple of days to get through something. As long as you do come back to it, that's the main thing. So I will see you tomorrow, because I have to let my cat in. Hello. Now, as we get started, I did want to mention that there are also different types of minimalists that vary in their purpose, their intent, their focus areas, and their approach, like say a financial minimalist, but we can get into those another day. Today, I'm keeping it super simple, and we're just going to focus on kind of a push style versus a pull style, kind of like a get rid of versus get to keep with intent. Remember, the goal is not to get rid of absolutely everything you own, but rather simplify your stuff and focus on what's most important to you. By starting small and taking it one step at a time, you can make this a really sustainable part of your lifestyle. Personally, I'm starting with just my clothing, and I'm taking a little bit of inspiration from both camps that we spoke about. So first of all, I'm starting with my least used clothing items, and I know that because these are the ones that weren't recently washed. And these items are going to be kind of more of my push items, so things that I will be either donating or sending to the Philippines or binning. There are also a number of items in here that I absolutely love, but I've outgrown them. So what I'm going to do is put them in a 6-month sort of basket where I will come back to them in 6 months' time, and if I can then fit into them again, they get to be put back into my wardrobe, and if they don't fit, then they get the flick. But not this one, because I love this one. So I just had to get myself a little bit more organized. I'm going to put my keeping for a purpose items here. I am going to put my donating or send to the Philippines items there, and just throw the bin things over there, which should only be a few items, but nobody wants my scraggy underwear, so there's that. And then I'll put my 6-month bucks over here. Let's get started. You might see me putting a lot of stuff into my keep pile, and that's actually because I've started with my winter gear and my workout gear, stuff like that. So that's kind of probably shouldn't be worn because it's the middle of summer, or I've been rotating them through. I'm not cheating. These are actually things that I use. Some of these aren't even mine. Some of these things are really hard, and it's a little bit overwhelming. So now is the time to take a break reset, maybe change some things up, put on some new music, maybe light a scented candle, as scent can really change our mood. So rosemary, for instance, is linked to memory, alertness, and it's just very soothing. I have juniper, something quite grounding, which is what I need to keep going. Okay. It might also be useful to think about the feeling that you're chasing at the end and the goal that you're after to help keep you on track. Okay, so finally, this is where that combo approach that I spoke about earlier will come in. I'm now switching to a pull approach. These are all the items that I have worn recently, which may mean that I am tempted to say that I need to keep them all because I have obviously found recent value in them. So to help me overcome this, I'm going to very intentionally hold each item and think about whether it actually brings me joy, whether I enjoy wearing them, I feel great wearing it or not. If I'm excited to keep it, then I will. If not, then get the flick. There may be some that might be a little bit trickier because of a specific reason. So I love this. I actually bought this specifically for the bottom half. So you've either got to commit to getting that done or you just let it go. Luckily for me, my mum's a dressmaker. This item I would love to let go, but it's like my only kind of more dress uppable. I don't have anything else. That probably says I need to get a new going out dress. I'm going to reiterate what I said earlier. The goal is not to get rid of absolutely everything that you own, but rather simplify your stuff and focus on what's most important to you, leaving you with things that you love, the things that you enjoy, or the things that make your life somewhat easier. By taking it one step at a time, you can make this a sustainable, enjoyable, and freeing part of your lifestyle. And likely you'll feel a tiny bit of that clutter in your mind dissipate each time you declutter another part of your home, until you're left with a completely manageable set of possessions and a more manageable mindset. I want to build a community that supports one another like a fiercely loyal BFF. Lots of love and support, but also kind of holds you accountable when you need it. If you want, pop in the comments what's the space, theme, or category of things that you're going to start with. In a couple of weeks, I'll check in and see how you're going. And if you don't want to, that's okay. Just maybe write it down on a piece of paper or a sticky note somewhere that only you will see. But don't let it overwhelm you so that you just don't start, because this feeling, it's worth it. Before you bit, ooh! And I'll try and say that without stopping every 2 seconds. It can help you stay motivated. What do you hope to achieve? I've mentioned that simplifying your possessions, or, oh no, I've lost it. I'm done. I'm cooked.